Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. One of our viewers recently asked me to do a walk around on my rig and kind of show you what I use day to day. It has been a little over a year since I've done one of these videos, and we have upgraded a ton of our equipment, so it is actually time for us to go ahead and do one more of these. That way we can kind of go over what I'm using. Again, this is not what I started with. This is, this was after 4 years in business. We were able to move up to what we have now. We're going to continue to grow, continue to add equipment, and continue to add as our client list continues to grow. So I'll take you through kind of start to finish what we have going on, truck and trailer. All right, so getting started, we have the 2019 Nissan Frontier. We do have the lettering on the side, and we've gotten way more business off of that than it cost. In one job, it paid for itself. We have that on both sides, along with on the tailgate. This is my go-to ladder. This is a 28-foot Werner with a stabilizer on top and then the level lock legs on the bottom. These were about $175, but they have been worth every penny. Just the stability of using this ladder by myself and having the comfortability of knowing that when I'm on uneven ground, I am covered. These little guys right here deserve a very honorable mention. These are the ladder straps. These are just Velcro, but they hold on very well, very tightly, and I use them everywhere I go, and highly recommend those. They make getting the ladder on and off as easy as possible and quickly, and highly recommend them. In the back of the truck, we really have minimal that we towed around. Almost everything has a home on the trailer. I've got the wingspan here, and this is for the Little Giant. I've got an extra can of gas for the pressure washer, can of gas for the blower, and this is just my leaf blower that I use for gutter cleaning. I have a brush in the back of here that is just drying from doing some gutter brightening today. And that is it. The brush normally doesn't ride around in the back of the truck, but that's it for what rides in the back of the truck. Sometimes if I'm not doing gutters, I won't take the blower, I won't take the little gas can, and I may not even take the 2.5 gallon gas can as long as my tank is full. And really just nothing rides back here. I try and keep this to where I'm not loading and unloading constantly, as this is also my day-to-day truck that I use to go to the grocery store and whatnot with. Alright, right back here we have a 50-gallon vertical tank. This is our buffer tank for the 4 gallon per minute Pressure Pro Dirt Laser. This is the machine I started with back in 2020, and that is still going strong. We got a new pump on there back in 23, and that we added a Comet pump that replaced the AR that it came with. Of course, we've got our 2.1 injector and our nice little buffer kit we got from the pressure washing store, including a nice filter. Spare tire is a must. When we bought the trailer, this is a 14-foot, 14 by 6.5, I believe it was, and it's a dual axle trailer. We got this specifically so that we could add the larger tank, and this has been wonderful, having a trailer with brakes and full-size tires and just a lot more room. When I actually got this trailer, I thought, hey, there's no way we're going to use this much room, and we're already pretty well, running pretty tight. Right over here we have lockbox number 1, and this is what I call my daily lockbox. So this has my cones that are the Road Hero pop-up cones. I've been enjoying these a lot. If you've been following my channel, you know that I do a lot of safety emphasis, so having these cones ready to pop up and place along the way has been really fun. In here I keep my Suttner 2605 with my M5 Duo. This is the 4-banger that I have for this. This is for the 8 gallon per minute machine. I also have the same thing, but this one has this is really my backup, or if I'm running both machines at the same time. This is for my 4 gallon per minute machine with the 3 nozzle J-rod. I also have a very simple ball valve I actually switched after this last year from the one I had, because this one turns so much easier than the other one. And this was the old ball valve. I still have it riding around, but just getting this to turn was like I had to use 2 hands and a foot usually, and I'm not really overstating on that. That's usually really what I did. Oh, right here, this is my pop-up bathroom. I love having this. This is just a little privy that I can make a private space. I can use the restroom while I'm out on a job. Some of the jobs we do are very long, so having a place to use the restroom is really nice. I carry around my hucks, some ear protection for when I'm using that leaf blower, a couple of 5-gallon buckets, along with gutter brush, respirators, 2 respirators in here, one for me, one for help, just in case I have somebody coming along with me, some frog tape to tape up the doors, a 5-gallon bucket toilet seat, and that goes along with the privy. Right over here I have sodium percarbonate and oxalic acid underneath it. I also carry around some sodium metasilicate, and that is for doing my wood cleaning if it's really bad. If it's not that bad, I'll use the sodium percarbonate. I almost never use the sodium percarbonate though. Alright, right back here I have a 275-gallon IBC tote, and this is the addition for the buffer tank to use on our 8-gallon per minute machine. We'll get to that in just a moment. To that I have strapped our Little Giant, and the Little Giant is being held on by, you got it, the Velcro ladder straps. That does not move, doesn't go anywhere, and it rides around. I mean, I just went 100 miles down the interstate with this, and it didn't budge. We have a 9-gallon Scepter gas tank, and this is to power our 8-gallon per minute machine. And again, we're going to get to that when we get to that other side of the trailer. Lockbox number 2. Alright, in lockbox number 2, we have my not day-to-day items. This is going to be my Husqvarna gutter kit. This is going to be my squeegee and brush, wherein I do the skylights. This is going to be my gutter brightening solution, along with various chemicals, including gutter brightening, a surfactant, a degreaser. I carry a set of tin snips for when I'm doing gutter guards, just to have them handy. A gutter cleaning tool, and this rides around with me everywhere I go. I have the XJET pail set up here, so all I have to do is throw this on a pail of any chemical and it will start to pull from the bottom, which is super handy. I used to use that to make my mix, but now I pull at a low enough ratio, or I pull at a high enough ratio that I can just use straight SH most of the time. I carry around an extra 150 feet of pressure hose and an extra 100 feet of just regular garden hose. That way if I spring a leak anywhere, it is ready to go and I'm not out of business for the day. Alright, coming around to the back of the trailer, I have not one, but 2 extender reach poles. This is my new go-to, has been for a couple years now, for anything extension pole related. This is usually what I use to clean the gutters with, use for gutter guard brush, used for a push broom handle, or even doing skylights I've used it on. Same thing with gutter brightening. So everything screws on the top of those, so I've got a couple that ride around all the time with me. We have our 16-inch Whisper Wash Ultra, and that we carry around just in case we have anything to surface clean. We still have the tips in here for our 4-gallon per minute machine. That way, if I have help coming along with me, they can just jump on the 4-gallon per minute while I am using the 8-gallon a minute. I will eventually add on a larger surface cleaner so that I can use the 8-gallon per minute more efficiently and effectively. I have this mounted with a string trimmer, or a trimmer rack. This is something that I believe is intended for using for like weed whackers, but I have it bolted on. It has a little area here for me to throw a padlock, just to keep this from walking away when I go into a gas station or getting lunch somewhere. This has been very, very good for my overall anxiety leaving the trailer behind, and also having that locked up. Right down here I have a cox reel with my Flexilla hose. I have 100 feet of hose on here, and I love the Flexilla. I hated it when I first got it because I had it wound up and it kinked a lot more than I wanted it to. But having it on the hose reel and keeping it straight, just roll it straight off, roll it straight back up. It's super light, super flexible, and it goes on here a lot better than my old Never Kink that I got from Lowe's. So highly love that. 200 feet of Pressure Pro non-marking hose, and this is all on my other Cox reel. I do not have it plumbed. I just use this as storage. And the inline hose I do have plumbed, but I have a quick connect fitting on there, so if I'm getting too low of water flow through the reel, I can disconnect it and throw it in the top of the buffer tank. Right over here I have my plumbing. I have one line that runs down, and it comes down to a T. And yes, I know I have a lot of excess hose clamps on there, but that T valve, or that T, allows me to send water to this fitting, which is currently off, and this actually goes all the way around and up to the 50-gallon tank right up here. And then right over here, from this way from the T, I come over and I can turn this on and off, but this is the one that comes up and feeds my 275-gallon tank. I do have a Job valve in this one, and I have a Hudson float valve in the other one. I've never used the Job float valve because honestly it broke the first time I tried to use it, and I've never filled this thing up ever. It really has never needed all 275 gallons. I don't want to tote 275 gallons, so it is just really a port. I really could have just drilled a hole in the side of this, or in the top of this preferably, and just done a bulkhead that just went straight in. I may end up doing that at some point just to try and restrict less of the flow, but for right now that's the system I have going on. Out of that 275-gallon tank, we have a banjo valve that brings us over to a 1-inch hose. Comes over to a very dirty water filter, which I'm glad to have. I have this right here set up so that I can cut off the water coming out before I get to this T. And this is my dump valve, but I also use it as a winterizing valve. So once I cut off this one right back here and open up this one here, all I have to do is put whatever my winterizing fluid up over that valve, and when I turn the machine on, it'll actually pull, because it has to pull from somewhere, it'll pull out of this dump valve straight in. And when I'm not winterizing, I just keep that closed, and I will keep this open so that I'm able to pull enough right in. This is our 8 gallon per minute Honda GX630. This is the newest edition, and it's the reason we got the new trailer. It's the reason we got the bigger tank, and I'm really excited and waiting for spring when we can really start to move through some houses, do maybe 4 to 5 a day rather than 2 to 3. Then down here I have another 2.1 injector. This is a little 1/4 inch tube. I did the same thing with both of my pressure washers for their downstream injectors. Is I added a 1/2 inch piece of PVC pipe over the hose, and that comes up to a little plastic filter. This one's actually broken, but really all I'm using it for is to keep this PVC pipe from slipping off. And that really has been a lifesaver. It never falls out of my mix tank, and all I have to do is pick this up, drop it into the top of my mix tank, and away I go. It always keeps that filter on the bottom of the tank, always pulling from the bottom, so I don't have to run back to the trailer just because I had a little bit of vibration that knocked the tube out. Also, lastly, there is a 35-gallon mix tank right in the middle, and that has been really nice since we were able to use just about straight SH, so I can get more at a time without having to use all of the little totes, all of the little 5-gallon totes that go along with it. Alright, so that's all I use. That's my day-to-day. That's Whether I need it or not, I take all of this with me every day, just in case something comes up. I also have like a couple of like pump up sprayers and stuff like that for different jobs, but this is my go-to. This is what I use every day, and hopefully you guys have found this enjoyable. I'm going to put a link up in the top right here, and that is going to have what we actually were using about a year ago, which is a lot closer to like a beginner setup if you're a little strapped on funds. And yeah, anyway, that's all I got for you all today. Y'all be safe out there.